For generations, the global economy operated under a fundamental assumption that technological progress, while momentarily disruptive, would eventually create more wealth and better opportunities for the working class. Throughout history, machines replaced our physical muscles, which allowed human beings to leverage their cognitive abilities in ways that generated unprecedented economic growth and lifted billions out of extreme poverty. However, the modern emergence of artificial intelligence represents a profound departure from this historical pattern because it threatens to replace the very cognitive functions that were supposed to be our ultimate economic safeguard. We are transitioning into an era where advanced technology functions less like a tool to assist workers and more like a direct replacement for them, concentrating immense wealth and productivity into the hands of the few entities that own the underlying capital. To truly understand this shift, we need to answer a few important questions regarding why artificial intelligence is supercharging growth in wealthy nations while devastating outsourced economies, what happens to the workers left behind when capital simply no longer requires human labor, and whether our global economic systems can adapt fast enough to prevent a catastrophic widening of global inequality. The anxiety surrounding artificial intelligence is deeply rooted in our psychological relationship with work and identity, as human beings are evolutionarily and culturally hardwired to find purpose and security through their economic contributions. When people see systems like large language models performing complex tasks in seconds at a fraction of the cost, the fear is not merely about losing a paycheck but about becoming fundamentally obsolete in a society that measures personal value through market productivity. This psychological dread is amplified by the realization that artificial intelligence behaves differently than previous technological revolutions, which function primarily as complementary capital. A combined harvester, for instance, did not eliminate the need for farm workers entirely but rather made each individual worker dramatically more efficient, allowing labor and capital to work together to increase wages and living standards. Today, artificial intelligence frequently acts as substitutive capital, meaning that a sophisticated code generator or an automated customer service chatbot does not assist an employee but rather replaces them entirely, leaving workers feeling profoundly alienated as they watch their hard-earned cognitive skills instantly commodified and replicated by algorithms. The underlying mathematics of this transition reveal a stark and accelerating division in global wealth accumulation, heavily favoring those who already control the technological infrastructure. According to the Center for Economic Policy Research, nations like the United States could experience a significant 5% boost to their gross domestic product over the next decade due to artificial intelligence, driven largely by the massive productivity gains realized by the corporations that develop and deploy these foundational models. Conversely, developing economies face a numerical nightmare, as evidenced by the International Monetary Fund estimating that nearly 89% of outsourced service jobs in countries like the Philippines are at a high risk of automation. The outsourcing industry in the Philippines currently generates tens of billions of dollars and employs over 1 million people in roles such as customer service and data entry, which are precisely the text-based, repetitive tasks that modern language models are mastering. When an artificial intelligence can perform the work of an entire call center without requiring health insurance, vacation days, or human resources departments, the economic incentive to outsource labor vanishes, threatening to reshore operations back to wealthy nations and wipe out the primary growth engines of emerging economies like Bangladesh and the Philippines. Zooming out to the broader systemic level, this dynamic creates a powerful and self-reinforcing feedback loop that concentrates market power and profits into a startlingly small number of global monopolies. The artificial intelligence economy operates on the data network effect, where companies that collect the most data build the best performing models, which in turn attract more users who generate even more data, creating impenetrable technological moats around leading firms predominantly located in the United States and China. This concentration extends well beyond software to the physical infrastructure powering these models, with the vast majority of central and graphics processing units being designed and manufactured in just a handful of nations like Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, and the United States. Consequently, the global economy is fracturing into a two-tiered system where the nations and corporations that own the capital reap exponential financial rewards, while countries and individuals dependent on selling their routine labor face systemic devaluation. If the primary mechanism for distributing wealth in a capitalist society is employment, a system that no longer requires workers fundamentally breaks the social contract, leading to hollowed-out economies where productivity rises but consumer consumption crashes because displaced workers simply lack the income to participate in the market. As we navigate this unprecedented structural transformation, our collective economic identity must shift from viewing human beings exclusively as labor inputs toward recognizing our intrinsic value outside of traditional market productivity. Workers and policymakers must begin to rethink how value is distributed in a society where capital is infinitely scalable, but basic human needs remain constant, prompting serious considerations around robust social safety nets, continuous retraining programs, and digital inclusion strategies that expand internet access and technological literacy. Rather than viewing ourselves merely as employees competing against tireless algorithms, we need to cultivate the distinctly human skills that remain incredibly difficult to automate, such as complex problem-solving, empathetic communication, and creative strategic decision-making. By reframing our approach to work and embracing the idea that technological abundance should liberate human potential rather than marginalize it, we can begin to design economic structures that prioritize human well-being and shared prosperity over pure corporate efficiency. The transition toward an automated economy is undeniably daunting, but recognizing the mechanics behind this shift is the first crucial step in preventing technological advancement from becoming a catalyst for extreme global inequality. While the mechanisms of capitalism are ruthlessly efficient at optimizing capital and reducing operational costs, the ultimate purpose of any economic system must be to serve the people who participate within it, ensuring that the wealth generated by artificial intelligence is harnessed to elevate the global standard of living, rather than isolating it at the top. It is entirely possible to build a future where technological abundance coexists with economic dignity, provided we make deliberate and compassionate choices about how we govern and distribute the unprecedented fruits of this profound industrial transformation. As artificial intelligence shifts from being a complementary tool to substitutive capital that replaces human labor, our global economic systems must fundamentally adapt to ensure this technological abundance benefits humans and societies. Make sure to subscribe and keep following the channel to learn exactly how to navigate this profound economic shift.